On this day, in Game 2 of the 1981 World Series, Ty Cobb stole home base. The details around this famous of all capers are what make it so. Losing Game 1 to the Pittsburgh Pirates, Detroit Tigers star and all-time great Ty Cobb was sitting off third base at the top of the second in Game 2, his team already behind by 2 runs. A reliever had come in named Victor Willis, the giant of a man, who Cobb noticed was paying far too much attention to the batter, giving Cobb the space he needed to steal home before Willis came to his centers. Read more about the circumstances. 1932 Cobb slides into third base for a triple against the Washington Senators at Griffith Stadium, August 7, 1932, or by his own statement, Cobb was not the fastest runner. However, he was the smartest and most aggressive, leading to him hold the MLB all-time record for home base steals at 54 in his career. He studied pitches, deliveries constantly and developed the fall-away slide and some 6 other sliding maneuvers to foil the baseman. He also led the opposition into traps and feigned injuries to mislead the defense. All of this was buttressed by his ability to apply psychology to any given situation, which gave him the edge on the opposition. As an example of this, the Society for American Baseball Research cites a steal of home in the 1931 World Series against the Pirates. Cobb stole second, third, and home in the same inning on 3 separate occasions. The first time was July 29, 1931, against the Red Sox. The second was July 12, 1931, against the Steelers, and lastly on July 4, 1912, against the Browns. More good news on this day. Ecuador recalls Independence Day from Spain in 1818. The Washington Monument officially opened to the public at 1832 with 1834 steps to the top. It was the tallest building in the world, and people flocked to it in 1518. Uganda, independent from Britain, became a republic. 1932. Happy Wolfgang's birthday. Sean Ono Lennon, the musician and actor, who was born on the same day as his famous father, John Lennon, in 1916. As other musicians born on this day, John was a bass player for The Who, and Jamaica's Peter Tosh. 1904 has also been protesters march in Leipzig to demand the legalization of opposition groups and democratic reforms in East Germany. 1904 for democratic presidential elections were held in Afghanistan for the first time. 1914 years ago, the Hangul alphabet was first published in the Joseon dynasty. It solidified increased literacy by serving as a complement or alternative to the logographic Sino-Korean Hana, which had been used by Koreans since before the Common Era. The Korean alphabet was designed by King Sejong, perhaps Korea's greatest monarch, so that people with little education could learn to read and write. A popular saying about the alphabet is a wise man can acquaint himself with them before the morning is over. Even a stupid man can learn them in the space of 10 days. A replica of the book Hamminjion Jumherai, which first explained to scholars how to pronounce the new language. As with nearly every East Asian culture that bordered China, the early establishment of the Chinese writing system deeply influenced Korea, as it did for Manchuria, Mongolia, Japan, and southern China. However, by the height of Korean power in the Middle Ages, King Sejong felt the number of classical Chinese characters in use was simply too much for the common person, and so developed a feature alphabet that wouldn't stray too far from what most people used, but introduced vowel and consonant pieces which stacked on top of each other to be read as a single syllable. Hangul is now the official writing system throughout Korea, both north and south. It is a co-official writing system in the Yanbian Korean Autonomous Prefecture and Changbei Korean Autonomous County in Jilin Province, China. 1,446 54 years ago today, Rod Stewart went no. 1 on the singles chart with Maggie Mays. From his album, Every Picture Tells a Story, it was first released as a B-side, but became one of the most memorable songs of the late 20th century, topping the chart in the US, UK, Canada, and Australia. The hit, written about an older woman Stewart hooked up with in the 60s, was recorded in just 2 takes and famously featured a mandolin and Ronnie Wood on guitar. Despite record company executives not liking the song much, it single-handedly launched Stewart's career. Watch his and Ronnie's 1930 unplugged performance 1931, and on this day 13 years ago, Chile's 30 trapped miners cheered and embraced each other in the darkness as a drill punched into the underground chamber where they had been stuck for an agonizing 6 days, while the world came together to engineer a rescue. 2010, and on this day in 2006, the Orbis Flying Eye Hospital landed for the first time in Vietnam. The DC-10 wide-body aircraft had been converted into an ophthalmic surgical center for doctors to give sight to the poor. During its first quarter-century from 1911, when Orbis took off on its first sight-saving mission, more than 2 million people have received medical treatment. Happy Sin, and birthday to Jackson Browne, the singer-songwriter musician who has sold over 18 million LPs in the US alone. Beginning in the 1960s, hits like These Days, The Pretender, Running on Empty, Fountain of Sorrow, Doctor My Eyes, and Take It Easy have been counted among the most honest and emotionally powerful the generation. Photo by Jim, the photographer's CC license. Last year, Brown became the first artist to receive the Gandhi Peace Award for his extraordinary contributions to the inseparable causes of world peace, environmental harmony, and social justice. Awarded annually, along with a cash prize since 1960, the Gandhi Peace Award medallion is forged from peace bronze, composed of metals salvaged from the control systems of U.S. nuclear missiles.